Hey again, so for my last little segment today, I'm here now at a winery. Just near Calistoga, California. I'm getting around today, so I appreciate you being with me. But the last thing I wanted to talk about today is the story of Jesus on the road to Emmaus. Not long ago, Maggie, who works for me, said to me, "You preach on the road to Emmaus story every year." And I'm like, of course I do. Like, how could you not talk about the road to Emmaus story? It's such a fabulous and amazing story in so many ways. So this story, if you're not familiar with it, Jesus, the risen Jesus, walks along the road with two of his followers who are leaving Jerusalem after his death. And he's walking with them, but they don't recognize him. And he walks through the day with them. They don't recognize who he is. And then he's going to go on, but they say, "Hey, stay the night with us." And when he stays with them, they break bread together. And then the breaking of the bread, they realize, oh my gosh, it's Jesus. And guess what happens then? Then he vanishes from their sight and he's gone. It's this amazing and fabulous story. Now, in a pre-critical way, I might think about this story and think it just happened just that way. But in a critical thinking kind of way, I might think, that's really strange that Jesus walks with these guys. They don't recognize him. What does he look like? Why would they not recognize him? Why would he not say, "It's me"? What's going on here? And then in the breaking the bread, they recognize him, and then he vanishes. I'm like, how does a person vanish? Like, what does that even mean? That doesn't really make any sense, right? In a critical way. But man, do I love this story in that pre-critical thinking, the post-critical thinking kind of way. In that, I love this story. Jesus walks with them and they don't realize it. And then when they do, he's gone. Now, if this story is just about Jesus and it's just literal, it's like, why is he gone? You have all these questions. But when we get past that literalism, this story is so beautiful. This story about how we walk each and every day. We walk the journey of life and Jesus is right in our midst. And sometimes we miss it just because our awareness is not there, right? And in the breaking of the bread, they realize it. Like when we break bread together, we acknowledge that Christ, that presence of Christ is in our midst, right? And so it's really the story about how the people right around you, the people you live with each and every day, maybe the people you work with, strangers on the road, people you encounter, they can all bring this presence of Christ to you if you're just aware of it, if you see it. Now, I don't literalize. Do I think that really happened just that way? No, I don't. But I love this story so much because of what it brings about being aware to seeing the presence of Christ all around us all the time. So I kind of just want to wrap this up. Do I have to believe everything in the Bible? I would say have to according to who? Who's the have to, right? And then secondarily, what does it mean to believe? Does that mean I need to think of everything in sort of this literal and errant way? I don't think so. I think the Bible is much more rich and beautiful than that. Like the flowers right behind me, they're nuanced, they have smell and flavor and texture and beauty. And I think when we read the scriptures, we want to and find our way to let all that into our hearts and lives. And I hope that we can share that journey together as we dig into the scriptures, and hopefully they can bring us to life and help us to bring that life and love that Jesus brought to the world around us. So I really appreciate your joining me. Grace and peace to everyone.